Okay, so now that we've gone over some of the frequently asked questions about tree watering, I'm actually going to show you how to do it on this tree right behind me. One of the first things that we need to do is identify the critical root zone, which is where we're going to focus our watering efforts. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I chose this tree right here for this video because it's really easy to kind of see the critical root zone here. It's not perfect, but it's pretty well encompassed in this little hill that the tree is planted on here. Now, not every tree is going to have this nice visual aid, so I'm going to show you how to find the critical root zone of your own trees. So if we go right over here and you see where the leaves of this tree end, if you draw an imaginary line all the way down to the ground, and then you draw a circle all the way around the tree, that's called the drip line. Everything inside the drip line is called the critical root zone. And as I mentioned, that's where we're going to be focusing our watering. Okay, so I'm back underneath the tree over here and I've got my hose handy and I'm going to show you, we're literally just going to plop the hose down in the critical root zone. Now there's one thing that's super important about this, which is that you don't want to point the hose at the trunk of the tree because enough of that and it'll actually rot the trunk, which is not what you want. My hose has actually been here for quite some time. You can see I've just kind of put it down in the critical root zone. So I'm actually going to move it and then I'm going to talk to you about what I'm doing. Okay, so I've just moved my hose to the other side of the critical root zone. So now I'm going to explain a little bit about the process. So you'll take your hose, you'll place it in the critical root zone, you'll turn your water onto a dribble, and then you'll just leave it for a couple of hours. And then you're going to come back, take the hose, put it somewhere else in the critical root zone. Depending on the size of your critical root zone, you'll probably have to repeat this a couple of times until you're done. You'll know you're done when the soil is moist but not soaking wet. You don't want to be able to make a mud ball out of the soil. It's okay if there are some portions that are a little bit dry, whereas other portions are moist. So how do we know if we're doing it right? The good news is the tree will actually tell you. There are lots of signs you can look out for that'll show if your tree is being over or underwatered. If you're seeing signs like yellowing, wilting, or drooping leaves, rust-colored spots or bumps on the leaves, leaves that have scorched looking margins, sap coming out of the trunk, or just an overall lack of healthy new growth, it's a pretty good sign that your tree's not getting enough water. On the other hand, if there's an area around the base of your trunk that just consistently looks a little soggy, or the new growth is coming out yellow, or it's coming out green, but it's really easy to break, those are good signs that your tree is getting too much water. So if you see any of these signs on your trees, now you know how to adjust your watering schedule. Or you can always just reach out to a professional arborist like me and we can help. I hope this video was helpful. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below and I will answer them with a new video. Thanks for watching.